I made the most dumbest decision by buying a car off Facebook. I bought this Miata for only $2,600 thinking it was a good deal, but it wasn't.
Dude, this thing is just caked. I hope it's not the rear main seal.
Yeah, don't know why they made it like this. It's hitting the block.
That's not good. Oh, it's running rough. You guys hear that? Okay, yeah, that's not good. The original plan is to turn this Miata into a showstopper, but we can't do that unless we fix the car first. My most reliable car is now broken. I usually take this car to go to the auto store to get some parts. And well, I can't do that now, and I have two cars that are not running. We're trying to boost the Civic, and this car just completely died on me.
Have a little more, we just need to push it.
Thì ráng đó, hết giặt rồi.
Me and my mom pushed this car back in the garage just to figure out what was going on, and long story short, I found out that the alternator is completely toast. That's unfortunate. I was hoping it was a quick battery fix, but unfortunately it's a little bit deeper than that. Alternators are usually not hard to change. Well, for the most part. This car has definitely not been driven by grandma, and it's been neglected probably all its life since 1990. So we're gonna change the oil. We have diff fluid, we have manual transmission fluid, we have coolant fluid because this thing is leaking mad coolant for some reason. I'm gonna try to find that out. Little stuff like that just to maintain this thing and actually get this back on the road. The goal for this is to make this car reliable once again like it was from 1990. Now before we do all the crazy fluid work, first, let's address something. The previous owner thought it was a bright idea to remove the carpet. Don't know why, this car's not even that fast. But I decided to buy something online to fix that issue. Parcel shelf, I think that's what they call it. I couldn't afford the black one because you're charging $100 for a black one. So I actually bought a tan one that was only 40 bucks rather than 100. And then I just used a spray can to paint it black. You can finally see in the back that it has no metal showing anymore and it's straight carpet. It looks just so much better. I don't know why the guy ripped out the carpet. Obviously, there is still some scratches. I'm hoping to buff it out, but if not, this carpet will prevent it from getting scratched anymore. When this car was actually running, the wiper blades didn't wipe at all, so it's time to replace them as another added thing to the maintenance list. This is the new one. This is the old one. All right, check that out. We still need to paint this wiper, but that'll be for a future time. For some reason, the other side wasn't coming on, so I had to use the good old mallet. Scratch a little bit, but hey, as long as it locks in and it's done moving, that's all I care about. Look at that. This part of the video I actually filmed 3 weeks later. I got really sick after working on the Miata because of the weather change, and also I think I wasn't wearing enough clothing, hence why there was no videos for the past few weeks. Nevertheless, that still didn't stop me from working on the Miata to get this video out for y'all guys. We are going to be changing out the diff fluid. Oh dang, it smells like butt cheeks. Yo, that has hella shavings in it. I went ahead and cleaned the plug. Unfortunately, I didn't have an extra washer in order to replace the old one. So I just flipped it backwards so that way hopefully I could use it one last time before it goes out. It should be nice and ready to go. We are gonna put some injector cleaner. I always put this in the Civic or any car that I've owned. I think it's just a good idea to put this in anyways, just for maintenance. But as I went under the car to go change the transmission fluid, the transmission and the oil pan was completely covered in sludge, and God knows how long this thing has been leaking for.
I'm hoping it's not what I think it is, like a rear main seal or something like that.
Dude, this thing is just caked. I hope it's not the rear main seal.
Even though this Miata was leaking like Niagara Falls, I still went ahead and changed the oil and the transmission fluid.
Really gotta put an oil filter in a tight spot.
The transmission fill plug was definitely being stubborn, So I had to rig it away to where I could get the plug out. Eventually when I got it out, everything was simple as filling it back up.
No. Oh shit. I think I just got trans fluid everywhere.
Miatas are notorious for leaking at the cam angle sensor. It's basically a small rubber O-ring, and if this goes bad, that means it will leak everywhere.
Don't know why they made it like this. It's hitting the block and then the back of the firewall. So honestly, I'm just gonna clean this as best I can and then remove this O-ring right here, right now. That's the new O-ring. You can see it flexes a lot better. You can see where I'm touching it with my thumb. So we're just gonna spray this with brake cleaner and shove this thing back in.
Still dirty, but I mean, it has a fresh new ring in. And while we're under the engine bay, we might as well do the valve cover gasket too. That way, we make sure that there's nothing leaking from above all the way to the bottom of the car.
Looks pretty good for the most part. And then we're just gonna slap this back on.
Finally, the only thing left that kept this car from not running is the alternator. This hose that I'm touching right here is actually leaking. Because that rubber hose is right above the alternator, all the coolant that was leaking was dropping onto it, which caused it to fail completely. Hence why I couldn't start up the car and it wasn't keeping a charge because obviously electricity and water don't mix. Brand new in there. The only problem is, like I said, I still haven't replaced this hose. If I don't replace that hose, alternator is gonna go out again, so definitely don't want that. After I finish everything on the to-do list, it's finally time to start this thing. But after doing everything right, something went wrong. I'm a little nervous. This thing has been sitting for at least a month now. And especially when I got sick, it was no good. So, let's see, let's start this thing up. Make sure it's in neutral, of course. That's not good. Oh, it's running rough. You guys hear that? Okay, yeah, that's not good. Okay, maybe we're not gonna get the startup that we want. I think because I messed my cam angle sensor, I think it messed up the timing. I think this is where we stop here. Dang, that sucks. Didn't sound good either when I started up, so honestly, I think I had enough of this. At this point, I'm very discouraged, concerned, and tired because I'm still sick in the making of this video while doing the labor on this car. It doesn't help that this car is 30 plus years old and was neglected by the previous owner. I looked on YouTube, I looked at the forums, couldn't really figure out what it was. But the problem was actually simpler than I thought. The wires were placed in the wrong order. My dad actually fixed the car for me when I wasn't at home, and here's the video of it starting up. It works. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the OG Papa Mai, because without him, I probably wouldn't have started the car. Comment down below what color I should wrap the Miata, and the wheels, shh, that's a secret. Oh!